So very namaskaram to all of you and welcome to our session today. Let us start. Chaturmukha samarambham vakbhadacharya madhyamam asmadacharya paryandam vande guru paramparam ragadirogan sadatanushaktan sheshakaya prasrutan sheshan Alsukyamoha aradidan jakhana yopurva vaidyaya namostu tasmai. Again, namaskaram to all, and we will move on to our session. Maybe I think today and maybe one more session, we will be roaming around the very basics. Then only we can move forward. So that way, I would request you all to bear with me. Coming to the we were discussing about something about the Tridosha, Panchabhuta concepts. And we saw that Sharira is Panchabhutatmakam. Sharira is Panchabhutatmakam. And what does it mean? That means the Sharira is made up of Panchabhutas. Nothing other than Panchabhuta is there. Panchabhutas everywhere. And the nature of this Panchabhutas, nature means the Swabhavam, are very well discussed in various darshanas. That means the idea of Panchabhutas is not original to Ayurveda. It is maybe Sarvatantra, discussed in many, almost all of the darshanas. Some exceptions may be there, like whether Akasha is to be accepted or not. All these things are there, which we take for granted. But when it comes to a living body, Jiva Sharira or Purusha, the other darshanas, they move apart from what is discussed in Ayurveda, or because every darshana is trying to explain the concepts well within their realm of interest. You can't expect one darshana to discuss everything. There is some sort of adhikaranam. So they will not deviate much from that adhikaranam. So when we come to Purusha as a Jiva Sharira, Ayurveda is the adhikari, and it is compelled to look into the ways in which the Panchabhutas operate. How do the Panchabhutas operate in a Jiva Sharira? Purusha means Panchabhutas and Atma. We find Ghadaya, Chetana, Shashtha, Dhadava, Purusha, Smritaha, Charakam Shariram, first chapter. Ghadaya, Chetana, Shashtha, Dhadava, Purusha, Smritaha means a Purusha, a living human being, or in a different manner, or here we find that Ghadayas Chetana Shashtha, 5 Bhutas and 6th one is the Chetana, Atma. So Panchabhutas the five bhutas with Atma as the sixth ingredient, joined together, is known as, don't forget that, that is what we call as Purusha. Smritaha. Smritaha, it is accepted in the lineage, in the as parampara, it is accepted, but I would like to explain Smritaha in a different way. Wherever you find Smritaha, it is some sort of a reaffirmation. What is that? Do not forget. So do not forget that the five bhutas in association with Atma as the sixth component is regarded as Purusha in this Shastra. So Purusha is Atma manifested or came into expression in a Panjabhaudika Sharira. Purusha is nothing but Atma manifested in a Panjabhaudika Sharira. So that is why we find Chedana dhadurapyekaha smritaha purusha sapnyakaha. Do not forget this one also. What is that? Chedana dhadurapi ekaha. Ekaha chedana dhaduhu api purusha sapnyakaha. That also should be kept in your memory. That should also be recollected, that Purusha is Atma. So Purusha can be the term used to represent the Atma itself. I hope the idea is clear. And each bhuta, we may not be able to go to the very finer aspects of all the darshanas which has collected together to form the some sort of an assimilation from various darshanas to form the Ayurveda darshana. But at least we will touch all those areas so that we will get a holistic idea. Each bhuta is identified as having specific sets of gunas and karmas. And bhutas as such, means in their original form, are considered as karana dravyas. And they cooperate to combine in innumerable permutations and combinations to become the Karya Dravyas, the various materials, natural materials, what we find or available around. So we are going through the very basics of Karana Dravyas, Karya Dravyas, or etc. Interestingly, we started from Yadha Dushtena Doshena, Yadha Janu Visarpada Nurvrittiramayasya, Asau Sampraptihi, Jadiragadihi. We will reach there. Ultimately, we will reach there. So this is something like the view that we have from the side seats in this journey. So, Karya Dravyas, from Karana Dravyas by various types of permutations and combinations. And in this exercise, the dominance of bhutas may change from case to case, from material to material, that means from dravya to dravya. And accordingly, the dravyas can be classified into, this is a parthiva dravya, this is an apya dravya, this is an agneya dravya, vayavya dravya, nabhasa dravya, etc. This dominance actually of a particular bhuta gives specific characteristics to a dravya. This observation is very well documented. We find certain documentations in certain verses like Tatra Dravyam Guru Sthula Sthira Gandha Gunodbanam Parthivam. Tatra Dravyam Guru Sthula Sthira Gandha Gunodbanam Parthivam. Gauravasthairya Sankhadopachayavaham, etc. Like Apyam, Agnem, all these things we find. And the fundamental role of each Bhuta in any Karya Dravya is also well identified. From Prithvi to Akasha, respectively. That role is, what is it? Dhriti, Sangraham, Pakti, Vyuhanam, and Avagasadanam. Dhriti, Sangraham, Pakti, Vyuhanam, and Avagasadanam. Each one of these karmas are important as far as the sustenance of any dravya is concerned. There can be many other sub-questions and points to discuss. What makes these five bhutas bind together? Where is that ichha comes from? What sort of a buddhi is working behind this? These are all very important questions and interesting questions, but unfortunately we are not deviating to such questions at this point of time. Otherwise we will never reach back to yatha dushtena doshena yatha chanu visarpada. So dhriti, sangraham, pakti, vyuhanam, and avagasadanam. That is one point to keep in our mind. Let it be there. Now, another interesting point that we have to understand is that every object, I repeat, every object goes through 6 stages in its existence. These 6 stages are known as bhava vikaras. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, and vinashyati. 6 bhava vikaras. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. Actually, this is a concept from the Vedanta school. But the application of this idea is not limited to the philosophical discussions. This idea has got some sort of a sarvatantrata applicable everywhere. Asti means comes to existence. Jayate means manifests by birth. Vardhate grows. Viparinamate changes with time. Apakshiyate decays. And vinashyati perishes. Everything goes through these bhava vikaras. No escape. Nobody can escape. But some of these stages may be well perceived in some objects, but may not be may be very vague in some others. Kritra bodhyam. Sometimes it may be very fast in some objects, whereas it may be very slow in some other. Coming to Purusha, human beings, in Sharira, these bhava vikaras are very, very conspicuous and well defined. All the events happening in the Sharira are in tune with this sequence. All the events are in tune with this sequence. On a finer sense, or on a subtler understanding, we should identify that these bhava vikaras or vikaras happening in the level of Panchabhutas. These are changes happening in the level of Panchabhutas, means in their association, their dominance, etc., etc. Now, what is special with Purusha? We have already discussed it. Sushruta gives a very beautiful explanation to Sharira or Purusha. What is that? Panjamahabhuta Shariri Samavayaha Purushaha. Panjamahabhuta Shariri Samavayaha Purushaha. Sushrutam Shariram, first chapter. That is the speciality. Panjamahabhuta Shariri Samavayaha. Shariri means Atma. Samavayaha means Samavayaha, an inseparable combination. This inseparable is emphasized because if separated, the Karya, that is the Purusha, no more exists. If separated, that is why the Samavaya should be understood as inseparable combination. So, Purusha is the effect, Karya, of an inseparable combination of Panchamahabhutas and Atma. Here, the Panchamahabhuta half is the physical, the manifested, the obvious Sharira. And the Atma, the other half, is the Jiva Tattva residing in the Sharira, which owns the Sharira. Which owns the Sharira. That is why it is known as Shariri. Somebody who owns the Sharira. These are all well discussed in various schools of darshanas. Actually, these are to be at least some primary understanding of these darshanas should be there. Then only we can understand Tridosha Siddhanta. That is why we find some notes. What is that? Tasmad Bhushruta Shastraha Egam Shastram Adhiyano Navidyad Shastra Nishchaya. It is not about, without a proper understanding of Harrison's textbook of medicine, you will not understand the Tridosha Siddhanta. But it is without a proper understanding of these peripheral subjects, you will not have a proper understanding of Tridosha Siddhanta. So you have to gather these information from various darshanas. Or somebody should write a book which is essential for learning Ayurveda. So we find that these are all discussed in darshanas. Then there is a question, what is the interest of Ayurveda in these descriptions? We are dealing with one medicine. Let us learn the diseases and let us see the prescriptions. And let the people be cured. What is the interest of Ayurveda in all these descriptions? That is an important question actually. Ayurveda's interest is to examine how the Panchabhutas get organized. How the Panchabhutas get organized and expressed while they engage in an association with Atma. How the Panchabhutas are getting organized and expressed while they engage in an association with Atma. And what is happening to this Sharira? during its journey through the bhava vikaras. That is what Ayurveda is trying to explore or examine. It is actually something like, as our Chandrayaan hero told, it is something like a travel through the space to the infinity. There is a travel inward to the infinity. And in this examination, in this line, Ayurveda proposes that the Panchabhutas organize into three agencies when they are associated with Atma to manifest as Purusha. We will find the details. I repeat, Ayurveda proposes that after various discussions, परीक्षगैः बहुविधं परीक्ष्य हेतुभिश्च साधयित्वा proposes that the Panchabhutas organize into three agencies when they are associated with Atma to manifest as Purusha. The Avayava Vyavastha systems or the Srodasas of Sharira is designed accordingly. The Avayava Vyavastha is designed accordingly. And all these Avayavas are made up of Panchabhutas. They are all working some way or the other continuously, and thus the Sharira moves through the 6 stages of transformation. 6 stages of transformation. Yes, the Bhava Vikaras explained are 6 stages of transformation or states of transformation. In an overgeneralization, this is fundamentally a concern, a matter. So we find that 6 stages of transformation, and this transformation play or game or drama is fundamentally between something which is getting transformed, and something which transforms. Something which is getting transformed and something which transforms. Taking leads and examples from various sources, Bahuvidham Parikshya, it is proposed that Prithvi and Jala predominant stuff is the one which is getting transformed. We can go through all these leads and examples from the darshanas, but I think it is not practically possible to explain these things in an half-an-hour session with some sort of an integrity. So that is why I am saying that these are all taken from various darshanas and sources. Prithvi and Jala predominant stuff is the one which is getting transformed, and the Agni predominant stuff is the one which transforms. So that way, transform and get transformed. Something which is getting transformed, something which transforms is the gist of this drama of existence of a Purusha. That is the gist of the drama of existence of a Purusha. And in this game, a stuff which is dominated by Vayu and Akasha I repeat, a stuff which is dominated by Vayu and Akasha decides when, where, how much, and why. Why means for what this transformation should happen. A stuff which is dominated by Vayu and Akasha decides when, where, how much, and why this transformation should happen. The entire Sharira operates on this foundation. Entire Sharira is operating on this foundation, and based on these when, where, how much, and why questions, based on these questions, the different avayavas and avayava vyavasthas of the Sharira operate. And we find that the very basic functions of these vyavasthas are to accumulate the stuff needed for transformation, make sure that the transformation happens uninterruptedly, and to transport the transformed materials properly and promptly. To accumulate the stuff needed for the transformation, to make sure that the transformation happens uninterruptedly, and to transport the transformed materials properly and promptly. So, accumulation, transformation, and transportation. These three essential operations, fundamental operations, can be regarded as the fundamental categories of works happening in a Sharira all throughout its 6 stages of existence, starting from Asti, ending at Vinashyati. 3 categories of works. And these are done by Panchabhutas, which are organized and manifested as 3 agencies once they get associated with Atma. All these functions are done by Panchabhutas, which are organized and manifested as 3 agencies once they get associated with Atma. And these 3 agencies are technically termed as 3 doshas, Kapha, Pitta, and Vata, respectively. These are termed as doshas, Kapha, Pitta, and Vata, respectively. Now, there are many things to be discussed. How the Trigunatmakada of Panchabhuta is influencing this stuff, how the entry of the idea of Buddhi or Manas comes, how the Indriyas operate in these things. Okay, they are all important and we will come to them later as and when the context suits. So, Sharira of a Purusha is not just an undifferentiated pinda of Panchabhutas with Atma or Chetana. It is a well-differentiated organization with various avayavas in it. All these avayavas are stringed together, interconnected, sometimes very overt, very, very evident, sometimes covert, not very clearly seen. And we have many things to discuss. What these avayavas are made out of, of course, dhadus, and how these avayavas are suborganized into different srotasas. Many things. So I was trying to explain the idea of Tridosha Siddhanta evolving from the Panchabhuta Siddhanta. Sometimes it is going to be the exclusive topic of some darshanas. As I mentioned earlier, we are not moving into the finer details, A, B, C, D of all these darshanas, which is not our cup of tea at this point of time. But everybody should be getting something, and somebody should be getting everything. That is what we can do in a very assorted session like this. There is a question, sir, without presence of Atma, these things won't be happening, or it keeps happening. I think I understand that this bhava, he is mentioning about bhava vikaras. These bhava vikaras, two answers. Number one, even if there is no apparent presence of Atma, these bhava vikaras are happening because of two reasons. Number one, it is inevitable. It is the fate of all karya dravyas. Secondly, there is another viewpoint that there is a presence of Chaitanya in everything. Even in the so-called inanimate subjects, there is a presence of Chaitanya which is so fine and feeble so that we could not perceive it. In some organisms or organizations, the presence of Atma is so overt, like a human being or an animal, something like that. So the presence of Atma in the conventional sense is not essential for these bhava vikaras to happen. It is inevitable. Every subject, every object, not subject, every object, every dravya is going through these 6 stages. There is one more point now in the chat box. Can we say that Sharira is the functional state of Panchabhutas? Sharira is the expression of Panchamahabhutas confined to the Sharira in the presence of Atma. Expressions of Panchamahabhutas confined to the Sharira in the presence of Atma. So we are discussing very complex things, and I am trying to make it as simple as possible, as like a storytelling. Anyway, we are going to conclude our session now at this point today. We will meet again on Wednesday. Thank you very much. Please look into these aspects what we were discussing without any prejudice, without any preoccupation, and get the best out of it, so that our understanding about Tridoshas will be uplifted to a new plane. Thank you very much. We are concluding. Bhishajam sadhu vrittanam bhadram agamashalinam abhyasta karmanam bhadram bhadrabhilashinam. Thank you very much.